Good afternoon. It's Alicia from Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. We have Cypress here from Gulf Specimen Marine Lab. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing good today. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you very much. Behind you, we have a lot of tanks. Can you tell me what are in these tanks?
This is our new quarantine facility. We've been doing a lot of sea turtles over the years. We've been doing it for about 50 years, but recently we launched this Responsible Pair initiative. It's a partnership with other sea turtle rehab facilities across the state of Florida. And when I saw it the first time, I knew it was going to be successful here because we have one of the rarest turtles. These guys are called Kemp's ridley sea turtles. And these guys are the most endangered sea turtle of all the sea turtles. But what we have that's unique to the Big Bend area is a lot of oyster bars. And these adolescent turtles, as they're working their way through the Gulf of Mexico out to the Gulf Stream and the Atlantic, they come through here and feed on oyster bars. And they feed on baby blue crabs, baby fiddler crabs. They feed on little snails and stuff like that. And I've known from growing up here over the years that we catch a lot of them in our beaches or on our fishing docks. And ever since we've launched this, we used to see one or two a day or one or two a year. Now we're getting 17 to 20 sea turtles. That's more than any other, and with Kemp's Ridley's, that's more than any other sea turtle facility in the state of Florida when it comes to Kemp's Ridley's. There's the ones that do a lot more with loggerheads and stuff like that, but it's kind of unique, and it's just because we're at the right location.
So with Gulf Specimen Marine Lab, can you tell me, we're in Panacea, Florida, by the way, at this facility in a brand new section of it with all of these turtles, and these 6 turtles will be released tonight. So come on back, keep an eye out on Periscope, and an hour and a half or so we are going to be out on the beach with these same turtles. And right now I want to take a little bit more of a tour with the facility, so show me what else you have besides these fabulous Kemp Ridley turtles. Here's another one, look at that. Oh, and what else, what kind of things and make them end up in your facility? What kind of maladies, what are they sick with or
what
injured?
we find a lot of times is people will catch them and they fish a lot with stainless steel hooks, so they'll get hooks stuck in them, and with these turtles' beaks it's kind of hard to remove the hooks. So we find them with 2 or 3 hooks in them where they broke off the line or they've cut the line. We've got fiber papilloma, which is a turtle cancer. We usually transfer those guys out of our facility. We're not equipped for that. But we've also found a lot with fishing line getting wrapped around their fins and cutting off flippers to everything from that to them being emaciated because they can't feed properly, which is a big problem for them too.
Great. And we're going to know more about these turtles and their stories tonight as we release them on the beach. I'm going to walk this way a little bit, Cypress, and then so we can see all of the turtles, see the lovely turtles. We've met him already. Him or her. It's hard to tell the difference, right?
At this age, very much so. You would have to actually get DNA testing to see.
Wow. So DNA testing to see what the sex the turtle is. Or I suppose you would know if they nested, right?
Yes. A lot of these Kemp's Ridleys are adolescent. There's a couple that are getting about full grown. That one over there that we just saw is definitely getting to be a big Kemp's Ridley sea turtle. They aren't going to get as big as like a loggerhead or a leatherback, of course.
He is a big one. And being the rarest sea turtle, one of the things that you can use to identify a Kemp's Ridley is that beak, right?
Yes, they have a very unique beak, and that's to crush through a blue crab or something like that. Flip over a baby horseshoe crab.
Let's see if we can get a good beak picture here, or a good beak. We'll see them later at the beach, of course.
Yeah,
There, you can kind of see he's got a pointy nose, and he's starting to look up here a little bit, and that's how you can really ID a Kemp's Ridley. Is there anything else that you can use to identify them pretty easily?
The scoots on their back, if you know properly what to look for. These guys, they'll have different patterns on the scoots, and they do that with the strandings when they're trying to identify them. If it's a dead turtle and it's been rotted for a while, you can do that.
So scoots are what? Is that like the scalloped edging there?
Yeah, it would be right here on the very top of the shell, the different ones that come here. the different pattern on the top of the shell, and they'll have it different from hawksbills to loggerheads to, you know, those different types of turtles. So that's one of the ways to identify them is by counting the scutes.
Well, I'm Alicia from Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. These 6 turtles will be headed on their way to the beach in a very short time. And Cypress is going to take me out now and show me a little bit more of the facility here while we're here. Maybe even feed some sharks, is that right?
Yes, we're going to feed some sharks, kind of show you some unique things about our facility. What we really pride ourselves on is that we have a big touch tank exhibit around here, and we give the kids to come through. We have roughly about 20,000 school kids come through our facility every year, and we give them a hands-on experience where they can actually pick up and hold some of the animals. So we'll walk over to the touch tanks real quick. I can show you that.
Over to the touch tanks. Hi. We're at Gulf Specimen Marine Lab in preparation for release of the 6 turtles tonight out on Shell Point Beach in near Panacea, Florida, and Shell Point.
So this is a spider crab that we have right here, which is kind of a neat little crab. There's about 9,000 of them, 9,000 different species in the planet. And these guys come in this area. They're a scavenger. They're going to feed on different things from algae to dead fish and animals like that. And right here is a neat crab that some people don't get to see all the time. This pattern is very unique. It's called a calico crab, kind of like a calico cat with the pattern shape. And these guys actually, this one, she's been beaten up a little bit, but she has eggs too, which is kind of a unique thing. This time of year, everybody's spawning and having eggs. This is a giant red hermit right here. And this giant red hermit is actually one of the largest species of hermit crabs in the world. They can get over 2.5 pounds, which is kind of neat. And they eat them in areas like Brazil. And if we took them out of the shell, they have an area that's very similar to like a lobster's tail hidden back into the shell. Then one of the other favorites over here are starfish.
And somebody asked, what kind of degree do you need to have to do this type of work?
We usually have to have a minimum of a biology degree or a environmental science degree. Marine biology is always good, but by the time they get to like PhD, they're not going to want to clean fish tanks. They're going to want to be doing research, and I totally understand they put their time in for that.
Oh, yeah, Edward, that sounds like a good idea. He's going for biology and zoology. So, yeah, I think you're on the right track there. All right, let's see some sharks if you have that. Hi there, what's your name?
I'm Josh.
Hey, Josh, we're streaming live on Periscope. Pretty cool.
How's it going?
Good. Let me look and see what's in this tank over here. Some really big fish. And they're looking for food. Look at these guys here. I'm Alicia from FWC. We are broadcasting live in preparation of releasing 6 sea turtles. And those sea turtles are going to be released back to the wild. They're all better. And they're Kemp's ridleys, which is the rarest sea turtle. So, we're at Gulf Specimen Marine Lab right now, and we're going to be taking those turtles out to the beach in a very short time. And then we'll be periscoping that release here in about an hour and a half, let's see. About an hour and 25 minutes from now. So, let's see what else the Marine Lab has to offer here. Oh, more touch tanks for kids.
Alright, if you follow me over here.
We will follow you to feed some sharks.
Over here, this is always a unique tank. These are our seahorse exhibit.
This is a seahorse exhibit.
You can see these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Neat thing about these are the males have the babies, and they can have babies every, 20 days roughly. And
Holy
they can
cow.
have up to like 250 of them.
250 babies at one time, and
Yes,
now the males hold them in their pouches
Yes,
too,
ma'am.
right?
So when you find a pregnant one, you find a pregnant male.
A pregnant male. Wow.
Um,
Now that's the way it should be.
yeah, right?
Let's do it that way.
Alright.
Now they've been around here in this facility for about 50 years and growing every single year. Ooh, that is a big shark. Woo! Okay, you got me on that.
I'm the only one that gets to do this.
Okay.
The only one probably.
Well, it took me by surprise. I didn't know you had such large sharks. So what kind of sharks are they?
These are nurse sharks.
Okay.
And a lot of people confuse these guys because they think, nurse sharks that can't bite you, but they do have teeth, which I'm not going to show you with that piece of fish.
Holy cow. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, see, I've been diving many a time with nurse sharks, and I didn't, and they just usually lay on the bottom, and they're cool, and I'm out down there scuba diving, and they ignore me.
Yes, they're very docile, which is kind of neat.
Oh my gosh.
But they're mainly a bathic plasma rank, and what they do is, we're going to have to step back, because when they don't get enough food, they start squirting water.
Okay, all
So
right.
just be prepared for that.
Okay, be prepared for the spitting water. Good God.
But yeah, that's a little. It's not fun when you're teaching a field trip and then they just douse you. So, but
I came expecting turtles, and I'm getting sharks that spit water. That is so awesome.
they are one of our big show pieces.
Oh my gosh. I just had no idea. Oh, hello. Hello. Okay. That is a shark that was right by my elbow. I am dedicated to my job, I tell you. So, what's the most fun thing about having these sharks? Why do you have these sharks? Are they injured or?
These sharks are they were in captivity, and once a shark goes into captivity, we're not allowed to release it. That way, we don't put any diseases that it may have picked up back into the wild population. These guys came from the Key West Aquarium. They raised them up from babies, and they're a little overcrowded, so we took these. Because they lay on the bottom, unlike most sharks, they don't have to be constantly swimming, and we can have a smaller tank for them, which is kind of neat.
That's a plus.
Yeah, it really is. And they're our babies. Plus, sharks are just so important to our ecosystems.
Yes.
To our fish populations mainly. They're the ones that take out the disease. They're the ones that keep the prey on the weaker of the species and keep that disease from passing on to other fish. So I really am worried about shark populations, and they're one of my favorite animals on the entire planet. They are evolution's perfect hunter, and they're an amazing animal.
Well, thank you so much, Cypress. We really appreciate you. We're at the Gulf Specimen Marine Lab, bidding you adieu until later tonight. We've got about an hour and 15 minutes or so before we do release of 6 live Kemp's Ridley turtles, and we'll be on the beach finding out more about their stories. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.